This video is brought to you by
Cool Green Clothing. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. And if you're in town, pull up on us at 215 West Saratoga Street. And if you're not in town, go online right now at coolgreenclothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way. And that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. When we are around the people we love the most, it's a feeling of togetherness, respect, and genuine love. Most people need those feelings to make them feel good about life. It's no greater feeling than knowing you got people that have your back and truly love you in this cold world. And that validation is even more important when you are young. For a lot of young men and women, they could have family support, a great home life, but that outside love they seek from friends and their peers is different. For most teens, they feel safe, knowing they have a group of friends that will be there for them and understand things they are going through that parents might not relate to. Some lean towards gangs for that brotherhood. Others, just the people they grew up with from around the way. And when y'all are rocking tight, it seems like all love. But we never step back and realize the ones we are the closest to are also the ones that can hurt us the most. You become vulnerable when somebody knows where you live, your everyday routine, where you be at, your weaknesses. And at that young age, you can be friends with a person one week and the next week, y'all are at each other's throats and enemies. Back in the day, that was also common. But y'all might meet up at the school, square up, and throw hands to get it off y'all chest. And probably still be cool after that. But now, we are in a different climate. When friends fall out with these hoppers, guns come out. For most, they never think somebody they once called bro will go as far as pulling a move on them. But depending on the individual, they might do more than that. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be discussing the case of a group of teens who backdoored their homie over a petty amount of money on the West Baltimore Block. Back in 2024, 19-year-old Darcel Mitchell was navigating life in Baltimore. Described as laid back, fun-loving, and carefree. The young man was just trying to find his purpose in life and his way out here. When him and a few friends stumbled across going to the studio, making music, that brought him more out his shell. He could now express himself through rap and his lyrics about what he saw growing up in Baltimore. They would shoot videos and sometimes even perform. And according to people that knew Darcel, he had a blind loyalty to his friends, including one of his homies at the time, also 19 years old, Charles Bowen, nicknamed Sleepy. The teens used to hang together on a daily and rotated in the same circle. Another friend with them was an 18-year-old young man named Devon Butler, nicknamed Day Day, and also a 17-year-old young man named Randolph Washington. But somewhere in the mix, things went left. When Charles asked Darcel for $50, he felt like he owed him over the phone. Darcel told him, like, nah, yo, I don't owe you that 50. But Charles wasn't trying to hear it, and the conversation quickly turned into an argument. For a few days, in group chats on social media, the once friends argued about the 50, with Charles even telling Darcel, like, I would hate to see something happen to you, yo. And when he told him, like, nah, I'm good, ain't nothing about to happen to me, Charles allegedly stated, you might walk outside and get hit by a truck. You can't be too sure. By this time, Charles upset about the money decided to come up with a plan. He would get Devon and Randolph, and they would just rob Darcel and take the money. On February 20th, 2024, Darcel was outside in the 800 block of West Lexington Street with one of his homies and his homie's girlfriend. When later that night, 3 men ran up on him demanding money. Knowing who it was, Darcel stood his position. Like, yo, I don't owe you that money. Seconds later, shots went off and they went into his pockets. Darcel ran in a nearby house and they called BPD. They responded to the block to find a young man suffering from gunshot wounds, and unfortunately, he wouldn't survive his injuries. A young lady on the scene and his homie's girlfriend at first told police she knew exactly who it was and gave 3 names: Charles, Devon, and Randolph. And a search of Darcel's social media revealed the group chat. It only would take 2 weeks for all 3 of the teens to be tracked down and taken into custody, charged with first-degree hit on their friend, armed robbery, and other charges as well. While the 3 teens were incarcerated, more witnesses came forward, claiming Charles was mad about the $50 and wanted to get back at Darcel, but they wasn't supposed to shoot him. As the case started making its way to trial, it started off shaky. One of the key witnesses was the girlfriend of Darcel's friend, who was out there that night and gave names of the 3 teens. But she recanted, saying she ran and hid in a dumpster when they ran up, and she was intoxicated and really didn't know what happened. The next thing in question would be the Instagram voice messages and group chat. The young men lawyers argued that's just what kids do. It wasn't a threat, they were just talking. Charles' mother wanted it to be known that he was the backbone of his brothers, but he never had opportunities or guidance, as their lives were filled with hardships. But prosecutors painted a picture of an angry young man who was mad and held resentment towards Darcel, that he would go against him and not give him the money. So he came up with a plan, and when things went left, they shot him. The alleged trigger man was pointed to as Devon, as they claimed after the shooting, Charles went in Darcel's pockets and took $200. The jury came back with a guilty verdict on all 3 young men, and at sentencing, Charles was given life, all suspended, but 100 years. Devon, life plus 20 years. Randolph, life with all suspended, but 50 years. As the judge stated, they couldn't believe all this happened over $50, and they would do this to a person they called friend. Rest in peace to Darcel. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. All this for $50, 4 lives gone. I get it. When you are young, full of ego, you might see things in your mind going one way, but you never know what will happen when you decide to up that gun. Some say Darcel was thinking it was just going to be a fight because these was his homies. He squared up, ready to go. Then they upped the gun on him. But that's the thing about it. You got to watch who you call friend or bro, because a real homie would have never took it that far. You pressed me about $50 and playing all this because I said, no, I'm not giving you the money. It's crazy. Now 1 young man will never see his family again, and 3 more will spend decades in prison over a few dollars. That 50 will barely get you a good commissary bag. But I want to leave this one open for discussion. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts about the situation in the comments. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace, that young man. I definitely send my prayers to his family. But I ain't going to talk too much more about this one. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of the Baltimore Way. It's your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.